because you're essentially telling your brain to give up. There's no need to think. There's no need to be creative. There's no need to search. There's no need to do. But when you reframe I can't into what would it take or how can I, you leave the brain open. Hey, you're back. Welcome to an inside look into the mind of Josh Perry. With that being said, I'm your host, Josh Perry. How aware are you of what you say to yourself, what you say out to other people, what you say in response to things, or even what you think in your mind when you witness things, when you experience things, when you contemplate things? Because over the last 10 years of my life, since the first brain tumor surgery and recovery and then leading up to today, I've learned how powerful words are. Not in the cliche way that people think, words become things, or like the law of attraction is literally like you're going to attract things into your life. No, it opens your awareness, or it closes your awareness. So something I just found really profound that stood out to me after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad was this concept of when you say the words I can't, whatever it is, I can't afford this, I can't do that, I can't go there, whatever it may be. When you say the words I can't and then fill in the blank with anything, it closes the mind off from thinking and from doing, because you're essentially telling your brain to give up. There's no need to think. There's no need to be creative. There's no need to search. There's no need to do. But when you reframe I can't into what would it take or how can I, you leave the brain open. You allow for contemplation, for creative thinking, for connections to be made. And I find that in my past experience, I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do. I didn't have the things I wanted to have. I wasn't with the people I truly wanted to be surrounding with. I wasn't experiencing the things I wanted to because I always would say, I can't. I can't afford this. I can't do that. Or things like, it must be nice, or, like whatever. I can't think of anything else that comes to mind. But when I started to catch myself and to realize that every time I was doing that, I was affirming my fears or my doubts by closing my brain off from having to think. And so when I started to reframe that into, what would it take to have these things that I want? What would it take to have the funds to afford to do these things, to have this thing, to go to that place? How can I do this, learn this, become this? How can I have these people in my life, surround myself with like-minded people that are going to lift me up? What would it take to eliminate the stress, the fears, the doubts, the worries? It starts with that question, because when you say, I can't anything, fill in the blank with anything after I can't, you literally are shutting your mind off. Your mind doesn't have to work. You feel comfortable. You're back to where you were, or you're right where you were when you started, and it's easy. But when you challenge yourself and you say, what would it take to X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, to have this, to be doing that, to experience this, to feel this? How can I afford that? How can I do that? How can I be surrounded by these people? How can I learn that? How can I acquire that? You leave so much room for possibility. You open your mind to creatively thinking, to problem solving. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, there's going to be resistance because it's not something that's currently happening in your life. That's why you're asking, how can I? What would it take? And the difference between people that are successful, which everyone defines success differently, but people that are living in success based on how that word means, or what that word means to them, the difference is their train of thought. And it's not as cliche as you think of, and it's not just what people think, like, oh, they think differently and this and that. Like, no, it starts with your thoughts, because that's going to trigger a chemical reaction in your body that is a feeling. And that's going to create an experience that you had. And that's going to combine with your previous thoughts, your current thoughts, your future thoughts. And that's going to influence how you act moving forward. And all of these things create a cycle, or a habit becomes your personality. I talk about that a lot. The way you think, act, and feel is your personality. And based upon your personality, you can easily predict what your personal reality is going to look like tomorrow. You can literally predict your future. So if you're continuing to move forward every day by saying, I can't, ... you're shutting your brain off. You might as well predict the tomorrow. And so something I've been challenged with, something I'm challenging you to, is think about how you can reframe limiting affirmations, limiting sentences, limiting beliefs, limiting words, limiting sentences. Reframe them into something empowering, open-ended, constructive, makes your brain think, makes you feel different. Because when you say I can't, how do you feel when you say I can't afford that? I can't do that. I can't have that. You don't feel good. I'm going to assume 99% of you don't feel good. I know I don't when I reflect on when I used to say those things. But just think about it. Finances is an easy one to touch upon because the majority of people aren't where they financially want to be, myself included. But I'm getting better and I'm getting closer to where I want to go. And I know it's progression. So I feel more open, more curious, more optimistic. But think about this. Rather than saying I can't afford whatever it is you want, think about something you really want. Think about something that you want that brings you joy, would be helpful, would be constructive in your life. You'd be able to share with other people. It would help you get to the next level, whatever it may be. Rather than saying I can't, reframe it for a second and think, what would it take? How can I? Whichever one resonates best with you. Think about how you feel when you ponder that question, just even for a minute. Now imagine if you thought that way at least once every day to start your day. What would it take to have the things in my life that I want? What would it take to do the things that I want to do with my life? How can I have the things that I want? How can I have an impact on others? How can I become the best version of myself? How can I learn this skill, learn this piece of knowledge that's going to help me with X, Y, and Z? And really think about how you feel, how you react to that, and how that shifts your perspective. Because I talk about this a lot, and I'm going to talk about it again and again. The way you think, it affects how you see the world, and it narrows your focus or it broadens your focus. So again, people use the purple elephant example. Write down, I want to see a purple elephant. And you're bound to see a purple elephant sometime. Doesn't mean it wasn't always there. I use the car analogy or the car example. Think of a car that you really love, whether you have it or you want it. Now think about it every day to start your day. Guarantee you'll start seeing that car show up. That's the power of intention. The law of attraction based on intention, based on energy, based on focus. When you start narrowing your focus to limiting your potential, limiting your thoughts, saying I can't, I'll never, I can't, I won't, must be nice, things like that, disempowering thoughts and beliefs, you narrow your focus. You're not able to see it even if it was right in front of you because you've already made up your mind. So when you choose to reframe to how can I or what would it take, you broaden your focus. You allow the opportunity to see, do, have, become whatever it is that you want in your life. So I just encourage you, again, I talk about this, set off those subconscious alarms for catching yourself. Even if you said something and you go, oh shit, no, I don't like that. Take it back and rephrase it. Rephrase it in your mind if it hasn't come out yet. I do that all the time. I get to the point now where even like I think about saying something, I think about thinking something, and I catch myself like, nope, let's rephrase that. That's not going to help me today. It takes time. But the more you practice, the better you're going to get, and the better you're going to experience this in your life and have, do, and become the things that you want to do, have, see, experience, and all the above. So I just challenge you at the beginning of your day with one thing that you want in your life, a goal, a material, a relationship, an experience, finances, whatever it is. Write down in the morning, what would it take to have, to do, to experience, to see, to be with? What would it take? Or how can I afford this? How can I acquire this? How can I learn this? How can I do this? How can I become this? You don't have to put much time into it, just like a minute, 5 minutes. Write that out, think about it, and recognize how you feel and what happens in your day. And I guarantee you, it'll help you reframe your focus, realign your intentions, and your experience, your personal reality is going to change, because you can't change your personality and not also change your personal reality.